The economy is the issue voters most care about when picking the president. But right now, that's bad news for President Biden. In recent CBS News polling, 63% of those asked disapproved of his handling of the economy. The biggest problem is buying power. Wages have not kept up with inflation. As you can see, even though pandemic-era inflation has come down from its peak of 9.1% in June of 2022 to 3.7% now, real wages are only up 0.5%. Employment has also played an interesting role in voters' perceptions of the economy. When Biden took office, unemployment was at 6.3%, not far from the unemployment rate that prompted Bill Clinton's campaign to adopt the mantra, "It's the economy, stupid," in the 1990s. Now at 3.9%, unemployment is near the lowest rate in half a century. There are also other positive economic indicators. Growth is strong at 4.9% in the third quarter. The U.S. is one of the only major global economies back to pre-pandemic growth. And average Americans also have positive views about some other aspects of the economy in their lives. Job satisfaction is at its highest level in almost 40 years. The Great Reshuffling moved workers to careers that were more enjoyable, had better wages, or were closer to home. But on a wider scale, voters have a very different view about the national economy. In a CBS News poll conducted last week, a majority viewed the economy as bad. To examine the human experiences behind these economic views, I went to Baldwin County, Georgia, to talk to voters about how they experience the economy every day.
We're doing a 250-point checklist on the truck. High beams, low beams, perfect. We walk around the truck, we make sure everything is on.
Barry Musterwick makes his living inspecting fire trucks in Baldwin County, Georgia.
Tell me about how the economy feels to you right now.
I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's bad. I'm doing all right. I mean, I'm living, so that's a good thing.
When you are going to the polls, what are the issues that are going to be most important to you?
Economy, wages for the middle class people.
You know, a lot of people are actually doing okay if you look at statistics, but there's this feeling like the economy isn't okay.
Yes.
What's that about?
And I see other people struggling, and I feel sorry for those people. But I mean, it's what you make of it sometimes, I think.
Baldwin County was split straight down the middle in the 2020 presidential election. Joe Biden won with about 1% margin of total voters.
Do you have data questions?
Dr. Caroline Folan studies historic trends in the economy.
Does anyone have research questions?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how's the economy doing right now?
I think probably 8, something like that. Growth is strong. Inflation has fallen. Unemployment is very low.
What is the disconnect between how people say they feel about the economy, the uncertainty of it, and these strong economic indicators?
So we have people who are still paying a lot more than they were a few years ago, and prices are still rising. So in real terms, a lot of workers are not better off. They're worse off than they were.
Are those prices ever going to fall?
No. I mean, you might see egg prices fall, but they're not going to go back to $1.50 a dozen.
This area was once home to the country's largest mental health hospital. But when it stopped accepting patients in 2009, people lost their jobs. Today, just about 25% of the population lives in poverty. Unemployment here hovers around 5%.
You have a lot of thriving households, two-income families, and then you have elderly, widow, single income. They're making it. But I wouldn't say that they're thriving.
Carlos Tobar is the county manager. This year, he's overseeing $20 million in grants, federal and state money, $5 million of which from the Biden administration's bipartisan infrastructure deal.
But this is part of the process. You know, a neighborhood doesn't come back overnight, and you're going to have some blighted houses in the midst of these houses that have been remodeled, and you just slowly whittle away at the problem.
This is your pride and joy, you say? It is beautiful.
Thank you.
That federal money helped Mary Jackson make repairs to her home.
They had to completely take out every bit of it, and the wall and all.
Mary's home is filled with photos of her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and it's also filled with political memorabilia.
What are the issues that are most important to you?
The economy is the number one.
Where do you feel it the most?
Groceries and paying like the light bill. And not only the light bill, water, all the utility bills.
You've been here for 82 years. You
Yes.
saw when manufacturing left,
Yes.
when they closed the hospital.
Yes.
Just empty.
Yes. To me, that was a sad situation. But I had to do a lot of praying, and that helped me.
But you feel like the road ahead is good?
I do. I just know the road ahead is good.